It should be Brady. It should be Montana. Ironclad in that order, 1-2. I'll allow for flipping of Manning and Elway 3-4. I think they have to be 3 and 4. And then 5 to me is very wide open. It's very wide open. But if Mahomes wins again, he could be in the top 5. Like, that to me is not crazy. So Orlovsky being bullish on Mahomes, that's not crazy. Just having him 2 and not having Montana anywhere in the top 5, that's nuts.
I feel like that was him trying to flex, like, now the most modern era.
And
like,
bringing up
really...
Breeze, by the way, like,
yeah,
come on. You want to hear a mouth noise. Like Breeze.
Surprised Dan didn't have Mac in his top 5.
I wouldn't have
Loves
Breeze.
Mac.
Wouldn't have Breeze in the top 10.
Do you want to go right into Mahomes, though?
Yeah.
I didn't really discuss this.
Go for it.
I was looking at, of course, where Brady was at 27. That's how old Mahomes is. I'm just going by age. I'm not going by the exact seasons. When Brady was 27, 2005, he already had 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Where Mahomes is at
no real MVPs, though. No league MVPs.
No league MVPs yet at that point. This is 2005. Mahomes had league MVP in 2018, Super Bowl in 2019, Super Bowl MVP in 2019. He's been back to the Super Bowl, but has lost the Super Bowl, has 5 consecutive appearances in the AFC Championship, if you want to count that as something, and tons of individual stats, his own records and everything. I feel like the conversation about whether or not Mahomes will realistically match, catch, whatever Brady's stats goes to Brady's longevity. And the way that you look at Brady's career, he didn't have his first league MVP until 2007. So he's already ahead of him in that category. But a lot of people, at least in this region, will say, who cares about MVP? It's about the Super Bowl.
I don't say who cares, but I do agree that Super Bowls should supersede it. I do agree with that.
But Brady didn't start winning Super Bowls again until he was 36.
Yep.
So, of course, he appeared in the Super Bowls. The Giants bested them twice, but there's this long stretch between 27 and 36. And if Mahomes has better luck in that stretch, or he's even just able to capitalize on it better, I'm not sure what Brady could have done so differently to have more Super Bowls in that stretch. It did feel like overall there was kind of this very, very soft, quiet rebuild in 2010 and after 2009.
So let's back it up for a second. Do you believe Brady can be caught, period? Do you believe his...
Eventually, yeah.
I do too.
I'm not going to say it's impossible.
We went through this with Michael Jordan. It's like,
now.
You're never going to catch Jordan. And I know Jordan doesn't have 11 like Bill Russell. I'm not saying Jordan has the most in NBA history. But who's going to compete with Jordan's 6? Well, LeBron is competing with it. He may never get there, but LeBron is competing with it. Like, Brady's only got one more than that, and Jordan almost got caught within 2-3 decades. So I think Brady could get caught. Like, theoretically, do I think someone can catch him? Yes. Is Mahomes the guy? Mahomes feels like the best guy to catch him. And again, I think that's why Patriots fans get a little sensitive this week now that Brady's retired. Well, we can't root for Mahomes because if Mahomes catches Brady, our whole self-worth and our identity is all ripped apart. Our whole identity is that Brady and the Patriots are the best, and if somebody catches them and catches up, then my own self-worth and I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore. How do I live my life the same way? It's like that's how fans approach this thing. I don't know if Mahomes is going to catch him, but I think somebody can, and Mahomes is going to have as good a shot as anybody if he beats the Eagles. Because if he does, 2 Super Bowls, but he's been to 3, so same amount of appearances through the same age. He's going to have 2 MVPs because he is winning one this year. I mean, that's a great chance to catch up to him. And again, I think that's, at this age already, an argument to be made that he's a top 5 quarterback all time.
And Arcand, I want to hear from you, but 1 second, I will just say that one of the greatest things in Brady's favor was being, and brace yourself because I know this is not something you love, being a pocket passer, being the kind of dinosaur that you hate.
In 2022, I was okay. In 2004, I was a little more on board with the pocket passer.
How about 2014?
No, well, by then Brady was a dinosaur, though, right? Like, right. I mean, Brady was a relic from an era past. So I was when Brady broke into the league. I was okay with the pocket passer. Now, defenses are too fast and offenses are too wide open, and you need a quarterback who can improvise more. That worked 20 years ago, and Brady was the exception to the rule.
Being that kind of dinosaur kept him extremely available. We talked about it the other day. Like, I do feel like Bill Belichick took that for granted and now is realizing most quarterbacks are not available the way that Brady is and that a lot of pocket passers are. And so his ability to be there all the time, I don't know if Mahomes can do that. because Mahomes' style of play is so physical in a different way, is so scrambling. The ankle injuries, like that is not a bug. Like that is part of what you have to take with his style of play.
I think it's a fair question. I know Mahomes is tough. I mean, Mahomes is out there hobbling around through a high ankle sprain. So I know he's tough. Is he fragile? He might be fragile. Brady wasn't fragile.
I'm not saying he's fragile. I'm saying because of the style that he plays
a different way, yeah.
But
he's going to get hurt more.
That might catch up to him, sure.
It's going to catch up to him.
I'll grant you that. Well, we'll see. I'll grant you that it could, for sure.
I think Patriots fans, defensive Patriots fans in particular, may have something else to worry about here with Patrick Mahomes. And it doesn't even have to do with this Super Bowl. I mean, obviously, this is a big Super Bowl. He joins that club of 2 and 2 MVPs. But his coach, Andy Reid, is only 60 wins behind Bill Belichick, and he's 6 years younger than him. Now,
What? I'm sorry.
I don't think Andy Reid's in great shape. I don't know if he's going to coach forever, but
Reid's only 60 wins behind Bill?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Shula record?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Shula record. Bill's at 329, Andy Reid's at 267. And 6 years with Patrick Mahomes versus Bill Belichick's however many years he has left with Mac Jones or whatever happens at the quarterback position. You know, we talk about defensive Patriots fans. I don't think it's likely. He'd have to win a ton of games, and he'd have to coach for 7 or 8 more years, assuming that Bill coaches for however many more years and wins more games too. But right now, it's more attainable than Mahomes to Brady, I think.
Well, if he coached 6 more seasons with Mahomes as his quarterback, so that takes Mahomes to 33 years old, which is pretty realistic. If then he's Bill's age.
He's locked up long term.
And he has Mahomes, and he's able to average a 10-win season for the next 6 years.
Well,
oh my God, is Bill going to have to coach even longer?
No, well, maybe this is part of Bill's logic. Maybe this is part of why Bill is, he's not just going to limp to the finish line and pass Shula. He's going to have to keep coaching. I didn't realize Reid was that close. And so, yeah, I mean, look, maybe Bill can get caught easier than Brady. I already question if Bill is the greatest of all time. Doesn't mean he's not, but I think there's at least some debate there. There's no debate with Brady. Bill's the most accomplished of all time. Can't debate that. Greatest? I mean, you're Phil Jackson. You won with the best players. I'm not all that impressed by that.
Phil Jackson at least won 2 different places with the best players.
True. I mean, give Phil Jackson a check mark over Bill on that one. At least he went somewhere else and won. So I think that's a fair point. 617-779-0985. 93.
There's one.
I did catch.
Although this is for next week, so
it is for next week. Damn it!
You're so confident. You're like, by next week, no more mistakes next week.
7937 is your phone number. Yeah, you can text us at 37937. Yes.
Text line brought up an interesting point. Is a modern quarterback going to be willing to take the pay cuts on the field that Brady took for a few years?
Hell no.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it's a little
winning.
I think it's a little overrated. The salary cap just went up $16 million this year, so I think that's a little overrated. Are you going to stick it up and make sacrifices? I don't know. I mean, Mahomes is making a crap ton of money this year. He lost Tyreek Hill. He could still win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, can't Mahomes turn around and say, "Well, you don't need to surround me with these weapons. I'll just make it happen." Now, can he say that when he's 33? I don't know.
I'm sure the team's going to say that to him. I'm sure the team is going to make that very clear.
There's almost
to him.
a $60 million cap hit when he's 32 in 2027.
Yeah. So again, it's a 2-part question. Can Brady get caught, and is Mahomes the one to catch him? Who else would you guys have in your top 5 for quarterbacks? Not that many guys have won 2 Super Bowls and been an MVP twice. Elway's won the 2 but hasn't been an MVP twice. Manning had a bunch of MVPs and won twice. I know people don't like to give him credit for any of the things he won, but he won twice. Young had a couple MVPs and won a Super Bowl. Aikman won a bunch of Super Bowls but never won MVP. Bradshaw won an MVP. He won
Unitas?
4 Super Bowls. Unitas,
1 Super Bowl, 2 NFL championships, and 3 MVPs.
I feel like Unitas was the before times, so that's a weird one for me.
We're talking about NFL championships.
That's a weird one for me. Rodgers and
all
Favre.
due respect.
Rodgers and Favre are 2 other recent guys who won a bunch of MVPs but only had the 1 Super Bowl. It's I feel like Mahomes would zoom past all those guys. I don't know. I feel like that's potentially what's at stake for him. Not just catching Brady long term, but really worming his way into that conversation.
Well, the Favre and Rodgers thing, I feel like, comes down to the question of, do you give more weight to the Super Bowl or to the MVPs?
I put more on the Super Bowls.
Even though you just said, well, Brady didn't win an MVP until he's 29.
No, I was just pointing out a difference between the 2 of them. But I definitely put more emphasis on the Super Bowls, yes. I said that earlier.
In that sense, I don't think someone will catch 7. Because even looking at Mahomes, if Mahomes plays his cards right, stays healthy, has Andy Reid as his coach or a coach that's of the level of Andy Reid going forward, I feel like he maxes out at 4. Is that crazy? Like, I just look around, especially having the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Like, that's going to be a great rivalry going forward. And we haven't talked about Joe Burrow hasn't won anything. But the second year in the league, he's in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So that's another dark horse for somebody.
I just don't like shutting it down and saying Brady will never get caught and it'll never happen. Like, again, we were just saying that with Jordan. And I'll reiterate, Jordan did not have the most championships. I know that. But we thought we'd never see it again with Jordan, and LeBron came along a few decades later. So I'm not ruling out that it can ever happen. If it's Mahomes, I guess that's up for debate.
Do we have Marino anywhere in this topic?
I have Marino, like, in the 6 through 10.
Not top 5?
No.
No Super Bowl?
What's your top 5? If Marino's not number 5, I know what your top 4 are. You made that pretty clear. Who's 5th, if not Marino?
I think right now I might even lean Rodgers.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
But you just said that Super Bowls hold the weight.
Rodgers won a Super Bowl. Marino didn't.
One Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else? Favre won one. I mean,
Autogram.
Who else do you want to put in there?
Well, I feel like, I guess,
Nick Foles won.
I was much younger for Marino, and Rodgers, to me, the bulk of his career has felt like coming up short,
like
underachieving by not winning again.
Yeah, he's overrated.
Well, Jones is overrating him.
Well, I'm not saying he's the best all time. I'm saying top 5. I mean, I think it's like him or Favre, or I mean, you want to throw Unitas in there? I didn't watch him. I don't know. Like, I think after you get past the top 4, I think it's very wide open. I do.
I think your dark heart is going to love the call that's waiting for you.
Why?
Go to line 1.
Let's go to Richard in Rhode Island. Go ahead, Richard.
Hi, I was calling to say that I think Trevor Lawrence might be someone who could reach Tom Brady's record.
I feel like it's a little ahead of time. Does anybody think Mac Jones is going to get there? Maybe Mac Jones will get there. Maybe Mac Jones will get to that level as well.
I think he's already better.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm not even sold as the best quarterback in that class. And it's not because I like Mac. I like Fields a lot.
I was going to say, you've slipped this in a couple of times. You're very high on Justin Fields.
Yeah, I like him.
Why?
He's a modern-day quarterback.
Right, because he's a runner?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought those 4 wins were really impressive.
I like that he can.
Once.
I like that he can get out and make plays on his legs, and he can throw, and he beat the crap out of the Patriots. Thank you, Ryan. I liked. Did you not like him in the game against the Pats?
You're very creative with your takes, and I would like you to have just a super weird take of you're all in on Trey Lance. I think that's the lane.
Trey Lance.
Arcand knows I didn't hate Trey Lance in the draft, but it's hard.
you're a weird guy.
It's hard to defend him. Tom Curran is not wrong about that.